What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you the quickest and the easiest way to complete Act 1 of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Me and my friends, we put in countless hours into this, and we learned a few tips and tricks that wish we would have known earlier along the way. So since we've already figured them out, I'm going to lay them out for you guys right here. So we're going to start at the very beginning with Tier 1, and we're going to go ahead and start with Direct Line, and I recommend doing this one first because you can complete multiple challenges within one run. But this one requires you to exfil. So say you start with a later one and you complete it, it'll automatically take you to the next highest one on that list that you have. So say you complete Road Rage, it'll take you back to Direct Line and you'll still have to exfil. So if you get this one out of the way, you can just go ahead and start running down the list in the same run. My one tip for this challenge would be to avoid doing Defend Ground Station and Aether Extractors because those have mercenaries and for some reason they just absolutely shred through your armor. And they're pretty difficult to do, so do any of the other ones besides those two. Moving on to the next one, we have Treasure Hunter, which is just open up 25 loot caches, and that can be literally anything. So this one's really easy to do. You can be anywhere on the map and get this done. My only suggestion would be to use the perk Death Perception because it allows you to see through walls, and you can find loot really easily this way. Next we have Road Rage, which is where you just have to run over 30 zombies. You can hop in any vehicle, so this one should be very easy to do. And for the second part of that, where you have to repair one tire, you don't have to wait for that tire to pop. You can just hop out, shoot it, and repair it right there on the spot. Next, we have Wall Power, and this is where the strats start to come in a little bit handy. And if you've played zombies at all, you've noticed that there's a lot of people that will sit beside the exfil sites. And that's because whenever you exfil, a lot of zombies spawn. So you'll use this for a lot of different challenges in here. You go buy a wall weapon, then the quickest way to do this is to go exfil, let all those zombies spawn, and then kill them there. And just keep repeating until you get your challenges done. Next, we have the challenges Firepower, where we just have to pack a punch a gun and then get 50 kills with it. Very easy to do. You just have to do 2 quick contracts and you'll have enough to pack. Or alternatively, while you're doing these contracts, you can get a reward called an Ethereum Crystal. What this does is when you apply it to your gun, it automatically packs it. So once you've done this, you can take your gun, you can go to an exfil site like all the other challenges, and you can just start mowing down zombies and get this challenge knocked out really quickly. And lastly, for the Tier 1 missions, we have Take Up Arms, where you just go buy a weapon from the mystery box and you kill 50 zombies. And guess what? Same strat. You go exfil, kill 50 zombies. You'll use this for a lot of different challenges, so you'll probably notice that there are a lot of people sitting around these exfil sites as well. Alright, moving on to Tier 2 now, we have the challenge called Interceptor. And this is where you have to destroy a mercenary convoy. And this one is a little bit trickier because it's all luck-based. And this isn't going to be something you can just find on your minimap. It's not like the single car that you can see driving around. It's going to be 3 cars, and they randomly spawn on you. So you're not going to find these driving around. You got to be still. They're going to spawn on you while you're doing some sort of activity. So I suggest knocking out contracts, doing infected houses. If you have buddies, help them do out their contracts, and just kind of wait for those to spawn and come around. Once you do get that spawn, one of the mercenaries you kill will drop a blue key card. And if you and your buddies are doing this contract at the same time, no matter who picks up the key card, it'll give all 3 of you guys the challenge. Now, there are times where this glitches out and it won't give you the challenge even if you do pick up the key card. And unfortunately, if this happens, you just gotta wait for that spawn to come back around. Alright, moving on to Tier 3. And as you're doing these, you're gonna wanna look for 3 items. 1, you're gonna wanna find the ammo mod Cryo Freeze. 2, you're gonna find the ammo mod Shatter Blast. And then finally, you're gonna wanna find some sort of homing launcher. And if you find any of these while you're doing your other missions, you can simply exfil with them and then unequip them when you get to your loadout so that you can re-equip them whenever it comes time to do these challenges. So now we're just going to start at the top with Freezer Burn. This is just where you have to slow down 50 zombies with the Cryo Freeze ammo mod. And the best way to find these is by doing the infected houses and infected fortresses. When you beat these, they'll have all these purple chests laying around, but specifically don't do the fortresses for this one. If you do the smaller ones, they are more likely to have the ammo mods, whereas the fortresses have higher and better loot. These houses are much quicker and much easier to complete, and you have a much higher chance of getting an ammo mod. And like I said before, if you happen to find a Shatter Blast, go ahead, snag that, take it to the menu, unequip it, and save it for when you're ready for that challenge. But once you find a Cryo Freeze, go ahead and equip it to the weakest gun you have. And the reason you want to do this is because the challenge is not to kill them, but to slow them down. And so I've noticed that if you equip it to too powerful of a gun, you end up just killing them and you don't complete the challenges at all. The next step I'm going to tell you to do is the same thing from before. You'll just go to an exfil site, exfil, have all those zombies flood the area, and then just freeze them all. You should be able to get it in one go. Now the next part of this is the one that I had a little bit of trouble with, and that's to freeze 10 Hellhounds. And this was troublesome because of the same reason I said before. It's really easy to kill them, so it's really hard to freeze them. The best way that me and my friend ended up finding out after spending an hour trying to do this by doing contracts is grab your buddy, drive a truck into the level 2 area, and then start shooting the dogs there because they're a lot tougher and they spawn a lot more frequently. So if you just get your buddy and you start driving around, it's very, very easy to complete this mission. What took me and one of my buddies an hour to do took me and another buddy 10 minutes. Next up we have Mine Layer, and this one is another one where you're going to use that very first field upgrade that you start out with, go to an exfil site, and then just throw it down in the middle of some zombies. Even if you don't get all 25 the first time, you're almost guaranteed to earn another field upgrade while killing all those zombies. So even if you don't get it the first time, you can do it by the second exfil, no problem. Now the second part of this challenge is the one that gave us a little bit of trouble, and that's to kill 15 mercenaries with the energy mine. There are multiple ways to go about doing this, but the one that we found to be most effective is to do the Aether Extractor contract. The reason we did this is because the helicopter will come down and it'll deploy them all very close together, whereas a camp, they're kind of spread out. And then if you go to like a fortress, they're also spread out, and it's really hard to work your way up to a fortress. And you're obviously not going to get all the kills you need the first field mine, so you're going to have to earn your field upgrade a couple more times. So if you do all this work at the camps and all this work at the fortresses just to get 2 or 3 people, it's going to be pretty tedious. So you can go to multiple different Aether Extractors across the map, and then you just throw that down and clump some of them, and you should be able to get it within 3 or 4 times. Next we have Pit Stop, which is another pretty easy one, but can be a little bit buggy. You just have to refuel 3 different vehicles at gas stations. And so we've done this before, and there's been like a time where we'll take a vehicle to the exact same gas station and it won't work. So if for some reason it doesn't work, just take it to another gas station or get another vehicle, but this one's pretty easy to do. Now for this next one is where that rocket launcher I told you about comes in handy. So you're going to want to pull that out and find an Aether Extractor contract. And this is going to take 2 to 3 shots if you use the Pila, the Pila, whatever it's called, but it only takes 1 from the Joker. So if you use the Pila, then have a friend shoot at the chopper while you're doing it, or you could just pack a punch it like my buddy did, and he did it in 2 shots, I think. Now the last step of this one is the hardest part because it's all luck based again, and that's to extract with the uncommon Aether Tool plan. Not the tool, but the plan. So the critical thing about these challenges that have multiple steps in one is you have to complete them in order. So the Aether Tool plans comes after destroying the chopper. So normally it'll be your drop for that contract, but if you complete the contract before destroying the chopper, then it won't drop that loot for you. So you'll have to go redo the contract, and then that'll be your drop, but you won't get it if you complete the contract first. Next up we have Automated Backup, which is not a difficult one either, but takes a little prep work to get. So you're going to want to go back to those infected fortresses and infected houses, because that's where you're going to find these. And you can't exfil with these either, so these are going to have to be items that you find during the match when you start this challenge. And the reason why this one gave me a little bit of trouble is because there are normal circuit boards. You're going to specifically have to get one with a mod like Deadwire or Shatterblast. So you have to make sure that you're not using the regular ones, because I did this 7 or 8 times and I thought it was just bugs, but really you just have to make sure that has the mod on it. This one I would look in the fortresses because, like I said, the smaller houses tend to have those ammo mods, whereas the fortresses have the better loot, so you're more likely to find these items in the fortresses. And there's just more chests, so your probability of finding it is higher. Tier 4 is really easy. All you're going to do is you're going to go to a mercenary camp, clear it out, get the key card from the chest in the middle, and then you're going to go to a stronghold and open up the safe. And inside the safe is going to have the purple key card that goes to like the fortress or whatever, but this is the same thing that's referring to as the records. I don't know why it says records, because it's literally just another key card to the fortress, but this is all you need to complete this challenge. We're almost done now, moving on to tier 5. And the first challenge here is called Hands Off. In this one, you just have to kill 20 zombies with sentry guns, kill 10 mercenaries with sentry guns, and then acquire a cipher tablet. If you've been doing contracts and you have some money in your pocket, great. Head straight onto the level 2 area and go to the buy station there, because that's where you're going to find the sentry guns. If you're just starting out with this challenge, go ahead and do some contracts, do 2 of them, and that'll be enough to get you 2 or 3 sentry guns. So like I said, go to a tier 2 or a level 2 area, because you're not going to be able to find them in the buy stations at level 1. And the reason why I say buy 2 or 3 of them is because I've noticed that these sentries happen to be pretty dumb. Like, they do not like to lock on at all, so you might not be able to get this like with the first sentry. So you might have to set another one down, and the mercenaries kind of shred your armor, so you might not want to get too close, go around, get another angle on them, do a safe, put it on 2 different locations so that they're looking opposite directions. But yeah, they're not that smart. Now the zombie one, very easy to do. You kill 20 zombies just by doing an exfil, placing it down in the middle, and it'll do its thing. The mercenaries was a little bit harder, but like I said earlier, I like doing the weapon vault contract because you can just put them in opposite directions and the mercenaries literally come to you. So it's a little bit safer and easier. Now the last step of this says to acquire a ciphered tablet, and this is something we're going to have to do for the next couple challenges. Now this is another instance where the game recognizes this is your next challenge, so they drop pretty frequently no matter what you do. You can be doing a mercenary contract, you can be doing a regular contract, you can just be killing zombies in an exfil, Aether Nest, whatever. And they're just going to be this gold keycard that drops on the ground by pretty much any entity you kill, besides dogs. I've never seen a dog do it, but you should be fine. If you have troubles, just go exfil. There's lots of zombies, you should find it pretty easily. Now this next mission is where that Shatter Blast comes into play. So if you already have one set aside, go ahead and equip that ammo mod and jump into the next game. If not, you're going to have to go back to those infected areas and then find one in those chests. Now this one is a little bit tricky because it doesn't activate every time, but you will be able to see on screen when you get a Shatter Blast kill. I'm not sure the science behind it or what activates it, but it does let you know when you get that kill. Just like the cryo freeze, you're not trying to kill the zombie, but rather just break their armor. So what I did is I went to a level 2 area and I did the exfils there. I also put it on a packed 1 gun because you don't want to die. If you do it on a regular gun, there's no chance you're killing the zombie at all. So you might be able to do the challenge, but you're probably not going to live through it. So get a decently strong gun, but not one that's going to one-shot them so they can break that armor. And this one is tedious because, like I said, it doesn't activate every time. So I probably had to do 7 or 8 exfils before I got it all the way up. And at the same time while you're doing this, you can just look on the ground for those cipher tablets, and this one should go kind of hand in hand. You should be able to complete them around the same time. This next one is going to require you to change your field upgrade. It's going to use the field upgrade Frenzy Guard, which makes all of your armor come back, but makes all the zombies target you for a short period of time. So again, we're going to go to an exfil site and we're going to activate this bad boy. We're going to get 50 kills real quick and we're going to forget about part 1. Part 2 is going to be really easy as well. All we're going to do is we're going to go to a level 2 zone and start basically any contract. Because during all those contracts, some sort of special zombie spawns. It doesn't matter which one you do. So all you really got to worry about is having a strong enough gun that'll kill it within the time you activate your Frenzy Guard. And again, if you've not been able to acquire a ciphered tablet by the time you complete those 2, just go to an exfil site, start the exfil, kill a bunch of zombies, get the ciphered tablet. The next mission, Hostile Takeover, is pretty simple. You just got to loot 3 safes and kill 50 enemies while you're doing that. And it says enemies, not mercenaries, so this can be zombies or mercenaries. Originally, I thought we had to do the mercenary contracts, go to a mercenary fortress and drill those safes. But nope, we can just do the weapon vault contract and those safes count as well. And in my opinion, is a lot easier than going to a mercenary camp, getting the key card, going to a fortress, and then beating that fortress just for 1 safe. The next contract is Chaperone, and it's really easy because you can do this within 1 contract. Literally all you have to do is complete an escort contract, because you'll get the kills while you're doing it, and it's pretty easy to maintain the health above 50%. It's pretty hard to let it drop that low. And just like all the other contracts, the game recognizes that the next challenge you need is the exfil with a quick revive recipe, so that will be your reward for that contract. And lastly, for tier 5, we have the challenge Nest Wrecker, where you only have to obtain a gas mask, do an Aether Nest, and acquire a cipher tablet, all stuff we've done before. Destroying the Aether Nest is literally just one of the small ones. Don't have to do a fortress, just go in, clear it out, and while you're doing that, a cipher tablet should drop as well. Now again, this isn't a proven fact, but because the game does recognize that you have to do the nests, I found it that it was more common that the cipher tablets did drop in the nests. So if you didn't get it on this one, you can go to another one, but literally my first nest, I had like 2 or 3 laying on the ground. And then if for some reason you can't find a gas mask while you're doing this, if your buddy has one, whether it's used or brand new, he can just drop it, you pick it up, and that works. Now we're finally starting to get into the story mode of this. This starts the part of the story where you start looking for Dr. Jansen. And in order to do this, we just have to do an Outlast contract, and everything falls in place after that. After completing this contract, her tablet will be laying on the ground somewhere. Again, it's just another gold tablet, and the game recognizes this is your next challenge, so it will drop, you pick it up, and you exfil immediately because you can't go on to the next challenge until you exfil. Now starts the actual hard part of these missions. When you launch into your next game, you'll notice there's another exfil site with a star beside it. That's where you're going to want to go, but don't go there before you're well equipped, like me and my buddy did. We made the bad mistake of going over there thinking it was just going to be a cutscene, but no, it takes you to the hardest part of the story that you've had so far. It'll take you to a brand new map where you're going to have to fight lots and lots of mercenaries and lots of zombies. You start out by hopping out of a chopper onto a roof, and what you have to do first is access the communications tower in the middle of the map to determine Dr. Jansen's location. There's no great secret to fighting mercenaries. You gotta be careful because they shred through armor, but there is a turret at the very beginning, so if you take an ammo mod like one of those turret circuit boards in, it does help a little bit. The biggest thing about this is just being behind cover. Just don't be in the open. This is a level 2 area, so the zombies are a little bit stronger, but they're not invincible. If you have a green or blue packed gun, you'll be fine with the zombies. You just gotta be wary of the mercenaries. Once you complete the communication tower task, it'll give you a little area to search for Dr. Jansen at. She will be located at this building right here. And once you look at her through the glass, it'll begin the next stage of this challenge, where she just uploads a file detection program and you just have to live until that percentage is done. After that is complete, then she comes out of the room and you have to escort her to an exfil chopper. She doesn't have a health bar or anything, she doesn't follow you guys, you just kind of have to follow her. She'll take you to this helipad up here on the top of this building, and once you're up there, you call in a chopper and you just have to survive. That's it. There's going to be a lot of zombies, there might be some mercenaries trying to snipe you, but when that lands, y'all hop on and you exfil, and that's it. You've completed all of Act 1. I do want to apologize because my OBS crashed while we were escorting her, so I didn't get footage of that, but the overall act did take us a long time to complete, so if this was helpful at all, I'd appreciate you guys just liking and subscribing. I'm really close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you could get me there, I would really appreciate it. Either way, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.